I think the combination of extreme androgen abuse combined with the piss poor diet, that the sodium level that he was consuming definitely wasn't paying dividends around the water retention on his heart. What is up, everyone? It's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. Today's ASMR sip is 1907more.com. ASMR Spritz Intelligent Carbon Iron. God, dyslexia out the ass today. All right, today I'm going to be discussing sad news. I don't know if you've been following Cali Muscle, but he is one of my OG favorite fitness influencers, very entertaining. I'll have Andrew throw up the rap video where he goes bop, 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 bop. You know, he's very polarizing, and he's had a very crazy career. He's also been featured on Geico commercials, which I'll have Andrew throw up a little clip of that. So yeah, he's been around the block. He's been famous. He's basically gotten royalties off of big time commercials and had a decently successful amateur bodybuilding career. Basically, his whole upper half was IFBB pro level. His legs just weren't keeping up with the rest of him, but the top half of him was ultra impressive. And he was known for his prison branding lifestyle because that was a big part of his life, as well as the overall just in your face factor. Cali Muscle suffered a heart attack, and we can link Cali Muscle's heart attack, and I've made previous videos on this. But yeah, his negligence around like what he was doing to himself, I don't really think he had a bodybuilding guru or coach pulling his bloods, doing his diet, etc., etc. I think he was just basically doing what all the gym bros did, and I'll have Andrew throw it up, was all about top ramen and tuna. I would not combine grams of steroids with high sodium, garbage, trash ass food. He was eating fast food. I think the combination of extreme androgen abuse combined with the piss poor diet, that the sodium level that he was consuming definitely wasn't paying dividends around the water retention on his heart. His heart basically gave out. He had a heart attack, and this caused a recalibration of Cali Muscle's content to where he's been doing very extreme shit. And I'll just say it like this, you know, I feel like Cali Muscle is a good influence as far as entertainment. When it comes to education and or being based about some of the statements you say, you can argue and pick them apart. And on this channel, I enjoy the education of my viewers, educating me in the comments if I'm incorrect, with very elaborate paragraph comments from experts that are following me. I fully acknowledge that, and I obviously heart them and give them a reply. We have a lot of smart guys who follow this channel who educate me along. When you claim that you are the finite expert in things, it becomes problematic from a viewer standpoint of you can't be that ultra confident. Like normally I word what I did, what happened to me, my personal thoughts of people who DM me at Russo Lifts, and overall you can write your own experience in the comments. I never say that, hey, if you do this watermelon thing or you fast for days on end, like this is what you should do this right now, contact me for more. That gets real muddy real quickly in my opinion, and we were wondering his irrational behavior, because it looked like he was holistically trying to heal himself, which there's nothing wrong with doing holistic methods. I'm somewhat a believer in a lot of holistic methods. But when the news came out that his heart is operating around 20% and he's in horrible heart failure, with the cost of a heart transplant being $1,640,000 before insurance, it's becoming apparent that I'm just really concerned for his mental well-being on dealing with the repercussions of this diet and steroid lifestyle with zero precaution. Because do I think the heart attack was preventable? I really do. Was all the damage that he did to his body preventable? No. But I think if he had a biohacker in his corner, which he had tons of money to afford a biohacker, right? I feel like they could have pulled the plug on what he was doing to harm himself to that level before it got to this. Now he's at stage 3, stage 4 heart failure. You know, basically, I think the methods he could do is $1,600,000 heart transplant if he qualifies for that, finds a donor that is acceptable for his body and prolongs his life that way. I believe he could be put and wired, his heart could be wired to pulse harder with a machine attached to him. But these are very dire consequences of this lifestyle being combined with this shitty diet, and I don't really like to see him promoting these extreme fasts. So I have done a 1-day fast to try out fasting. I have done a 3-day fast, and then I believe I did 10 days. A 10-day fast was extremely dangerous, and the only reason I did it is I was suffering from post-finasteride syndrome, and I was iodine poisoning myself before a fecal matter transplant. I was doing that extreme shit. It wasn't like, oh, I just feel like fasting for a month. You know, it's healthy. Fasting takes a very long time to get used to. It's very dangerous in my opinion. A fast should be pushed on the general public, like try out a day fast. Don't try out a 10-day fast. Definitely don't try out a month fast, because the longer you fast, the more insane it gets. And by the end of that fast, my father had to come over and watch me because I was so weak and brittle. Obviously, I was in a disease state like Callie, but you can't be recommending these extreme fasts, in my opinion, on YouTube to general people saying it's going to heal everything under the sun. Sure, fasting's great. There's tons of health benefits, but work your way up. Do not think that you can just jump into a 10-day water fast like it's easy. It's not. Trust me, I've done it. It's really like I wouldn't do it again. If I wanted to fast, I'd do 3-day if I wanted to fast, I'd probably do 3 days max, unless I was really mentally prepared to suffer and almost like have issues walking essentially towards the end of that 10-day fast, let alone do a 30-day fast. I don't like seeing that. I also don't like seeing his watermelon diet, because people are going to copy this. Don't take all the micronutrients out of your body and only eat watermelon. Right? He's trying all these holistic methods to heal and regenerate himself. He cannot regenerate this cardiac tissue. I'm not being a hater of that. If you had slight cancer or something and did a fast, I could see that. But overall, I do not really want to see him continuing with these extreme, for attention, clout-like stuff that is being purported as him being an expert. He's being a finite expert where you can DM him for more info. And this is where it's getting dicey to a point where I'm like concerned for him, essentially. Nobody wants to see this dire end, and it's hard to watch, you know, because I had a lot of fun watching Cali Muscle when I was younger. I used to watch him when I was 16, 17 years old. He would get me hype before the gym. I loved his frequency. I loved all of his branding around the prison lifestyle. And now it's at this extreme opposite factor of he's in a dire situation, and I wouldn't be rubbing this sort of, you know, there's nothing wrong with him drastically trying to do things. If that gives him peace of mind to holistically heal himself and try everything under the sun, that's fine. Going on YouTube and proposing that this is the expert way to do things and that general healthy people should stop eating all food and water fast for over a week and eat only watermelon and do all this crazy shit, and that to DM him for one-on-one, I don't like seeing that. That could lead towards a really bad reaction with one of his followers. I definitely, if you want to try fasting, try a day, recover from that. Try 3 days, recover from that. After a day fast, your metabolism starts to get extremely damaged. After a couple days, I'd say like the first 2-3 days are the hardest, and then on the 4th day, it becomes more bearable, but you're in this weird headspace. You feel really weak and brittle, and I could see bad things happening to people who aren't physically capable of suffering through a fast like that. It's just one of those things where we can't be using this dangerous information as far as an expert way to heal. I have nothing against fasting, but when I see this presented the way it is, I just wanted to say that that's not going to heal him. It's not. And it's sad what happened to him. He fully admits it on camera. He's against enhanced bodybuilding, despite me pointing out the hypocrisy of like, this is how he got the crazy life, the Hellcat, the Track Hawk, all these things, these material items, his crazy house, his flamboyant lifestyle was all due towards his steroid abuse. He neglected the guruing aspect, the biohacker aspect, and then continued on with his shitty prison diet despite having all the money in the world to eat as clean as possible and mitigate harm. For example, what age is Dorian Yates? I'll have Andrew throw up the age of Dorian Yates. He's probably taken more shit than Cali, but his diet was immaculate the entire time. He had a guru monitoring him. He had a coach constantly checking his blood work, constantly pulling him off shit, constantly repairing his biomarkers, pushing them all back to normal. I don't think Cali was doing any of that for a very long time, and now he's proposing these dangerous ideas on his audience that could end them up in the hospital. It felt like at the end of that 10-day fast, I could end up in the hospital. I felt that weak and that brittle. I will see you guys on my next one.